You know, that kind of silence that screams louder than any shout? That split second when a glance across the pavement cuts sharper than a blade? That was the moment I stood outside the venue, motionless, just beyond the glass doors. The music inside was dulled by the walls, but laughter slipped through the cracks like a taunt. He stood there, tall, broad, dressed in a sharply pressed black uniform. His face didn't flicker as he said it. "Your name isn't on the list." His voice was even indifferent, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. That told me everything. He knew exactly what he was doing. I turned slowly, heart heavy, and there they were. My wife, Clara, in a shimmering silver gown, and her mother beside her, holding a flute of champagne. Their smiles were thin, insincere, barely hiding the amusement behind them. I realized, in that instant, my presence was nothing more than the punchline to a joke they rehearsed without me. Clara lifted an eyebrow, like she was daring me to argue. I didn't. I just gave a small nod, stepped back from the doorway, and walked away. That night, I didn't speak to anyone. No messages, no calls, just silence and a storm of disbelief echoing inside my chest. We'd been married 4 years. For years, I'd paid for half that wedding, helped her sister through college, been the golden son-in-law, the quiet partner, maybe too quiet. The next morning, I braced myself for cold shoulders, accusations, a closing of doors. What I got instead was panic. Clara and her mother showed up at my doorstep, faces pale, eyes wide, hands trembling like loose pages in the wind. "She's gone," Clara whispered. Her sister, Grace, the one who had just gotten married the day before, had vanished. "She left the reception early," Clara said, voice shaking. "No message, no call, nothing." They looked at me like I was their only hope, as if I hadn't just been treated like an outsider hours before. I let them in, sat them down, made tea with hands steady as stone. And for the first time, I looked at Clara, not as my wife, but as someone I used to know, someone I had once trusted. Here's the thing about betrayal. It heightens your awareness. You start noticing things you used to ignore. The secretive phone calls Clara took just out of earshot. The way Grace would tense whenever her new husband raised his voice. The bruises she shrugged off as accidents. That day, Clara lied about where they were going, said it was just a shopping trip, but they came back with red, tear-streaked faces and no luggage, no trace of a plan. Grace hadn't run away. She was hiding. From someone. From something. I drove back to the venue, retracing steps that still felt too fresh. The staff recognized me instantly. "Oh, yeah," one said. "We were told not to let you in." Not by the bride. Not the groom. It was Clara. Family issues, they called it. Drama. Behind the building, by the dumpsters, I spotted something strange. Grace's bouquet, tossed like trash. Who throws away their wedding flowers before the honeymoon? I picked it up, and that's when I saw it. A small note, wedged beneath the ribbon, stained with something dark and sticky. 3 words, scribbled in frantic handwriting. He found out. Back home, Clara stood in the kitchen, staring blankly ahead like her mind had left her body. "She's in danger, isn't she?" I asked. She didn't speak, just let the tears fall. Her mother sat stiffly beside her, face unreadable, eyes scanning everything but mine. "She was going to leave," Clara finally whispered, voice almost invisible. She wanted out. From him. Clara wiped her eyes, but he found her messages. She thought disappearing was the only way to be safe. Then she looked at me. That look, the one people give when they've used you up, when they realize you're good and hate you for it. "I didn't think he'd actually hurt her," she said. I wanted to explode, scream, break something. But instead, I walked upstairs, calm the way numbness makes you calm. I opened a drawer where I'd stashed the emergency phone, one I'd given Grace a long time ago, just in case. I dialed the only number saved under her name. She picked up on the second ring. "Don't tell them," she said, her voice a breath. "Please, I'm safe. Just don't." She was hiding out in a friend's cabin upstate, alone, frightened, alive. She told me everything, the threats, the bruises, the way Clara had convinced her to go through with it anyway. It's too late to back out, Clara had told her. We can't take that kind of shame. I asked if she wanted to come back. She said no. She was finished with all of them. But before hanging up, she thanked me for never asking her to lie, for never pretending with her. 2 days later, I left. Quietly. No confrontation. No shouting match. Just a handwritten note. Left on the kitchen table. You crossed my name off a guest list. I'm crossing myself out of your life. That week, I filed for divorce. I never told them where Grace was. Never revealed how I'd found her. Let them sit with the guilt. Let them tear apart every lie trying to find the truth they buried. Every now and then, I still get a message. Regret wrapped in apologies. Vague promises to explain everything. I never respond. Grace and I still talk from time to time. Not often, but when she laughs now, it sounds genuine. Strange, isn't it? How sometimes the door that closes in your face ends up being the one that saves you. And maybe not being on the list was the greatest freedom I never saw coming.